Okay. We back again. Okay, the bye week. Look, Rabbit said before the show he took a nap. We had the bye week, so we feeling refreshed. So I mean, we back at it again with a little Ravens, a little Bears action, a couple of late season runs in the making. And I'm gonna give y'all a second, okay? I'm gonna give y'all a second to hit that like button. I'm gonna give y'all a second to hit that subscribe button. If you watching on Fly Nation Speaks, if you watching on the Third Perspective podcast platform over there too, I'm gonna let y'all do that. I'm gonna let y'all get y'all's drink too as well, okay? I'm gonna let y'all get y'all's drink because we gonna get into these Bears. We gonna get into these Ravens. I should have said these Ravens. Then these. Wait, you know what? Forget it. We gonna get right into it because I'm refreshed. I had a whole week off of not having the stress over the Ravens winning or losing. And I think the Bears they might just think about making a good little run to end the season, but we'll see. All right, welcome into
the Bears Ravens podcast. You know,
Flock Nation Speaks
T3P podcast. All the Bears fans know me.
Your Baltimore Ravens
The Bears
podcast, where we talk about the best team in NFL history.
The Bears.
If you're a Ravens fan, of course.
Passionate Ravens, passionate Bears. You know what I'm saying? Now, that's what we do. You know?
All right, what is going on, good people? Welcome in. I don't know what the name of the show is. I just made it up, threw it on the graphic, but whatever. Welcome in to the. Let's just go with the flock down perspective for now. Okay, we'll figure it out later. But the little simulcast joint that I do with my boy Rabid Jones from the Third Perspective podcast. I'm DJ from the Flock Nation Speaks podcast, and we're about to talk about these Bears, talk about these Ravens. And he said he was going to sneak a little Panthers in there because I'm in the North Carolina area, so
we're gonna sneak some
right down the road from the stadium and whatnot.
It's a good thing to put them in there because it all ties together.
It does. It's interesting because the Ravens coming off a bye week. The Bears. Who the Bears got this week?
We're just coming off a bye week too. We about to play.
Okay, so yeah, we had
Lions.
That's right. Had the same bye week. So the Bears coming off a bye week. The Bears coming off a bye week, getting ready to kind of go on a potential little late season run for both teams, right? The Ravens going for the number one seed. The Bears still trying to get in the playoffs and make a little noise while they at it. Maybe play a little sport with some other teams as well. Because
that's true.
The crazy part about it is, it's funny, speaking of the Bears and with the NFC North and everything, it's kind of gotten going a little bit, right? Because the Vikings started off a little bit slow, but they've kind of found their way with, even though Kirk Cousins is out, Josh Dobbs has been playing well, and then the Bears have had a couple of good games here and there too. And then the Packers are looking pretty good right now. And then Detroit is kind of, they're leading, but they've lost some games where it kind of leaves the door open for everybody else. How you feeling about the NFC North right now with everything going on? Because it's gotten real competitive. It's gotten real, real dogfightish over there.
I really think it comes down to coaching, right? Like all teams, even Kansas City, start off slow, but coaching during the last parts of the season come into play. If you got good coaching during the last part of the season, those are the teams vying for playoff positions. Always, no matter how they started during December, January, if you got good coaching, you're the best teams in the league right now because you know how to adapt and overcome what you started off in the beginning of the season because you got good coaching. You know what I'm saying? Now some teams start off like 0-2 or 1-3 or something like that, but by December they in the playoff hunt because coaching. You know what I'm saying, dog?
Yeah.
What you think about that?
Yeah, I agree. And, coaching is not only big when it comes to, I'm going to be honest with you, coaching is not only big when it comes to these big games, when it comes to the late season runs, but coaching is also big when it comes to these darn playoff runs that these teams want to make, right? You want to make sure that the coaching is top notch. You want to make sure that the coaching is on point and ready for you to take that next step, because that's a lot of what these wins versus these losses end up being, especially in the playoffs, is basically getting out coached, not necessarily getting outplayed, because when you go into the playoffs, everybody's good. Everybody's good. There, you know, they ain't really any bad teams in the playoffs. And I mean, there might be a couple that slipped in, but they might be the hot teams, right? They might be the teams that's like, you know, they didn't went on a run, they didn't got hot at the right time, and they trying to make a little run at the playoffs. So yeah, I think it does come down to coaching, and some of that inexperience that some of these other teams got too could come into play. So, you know, when it comes down to the North, it's interesting because it feels like all of y'all got a lot of younger coaches. Like Matt LaFleur, I think, is the the most tenured coach, right? Like I don't.
Got Minnesota. That's a young coach.
Yeah, I mean, because Matt LaFleur, he's probably been with the Packers for longer than any other of the other coaches in the division. So he got a little bit of that experience in that way. But I think it's going to be a fight to the finish for y'all, and I think for the AFC North, I think it could be the same way, just kind of looking at the schedule. You know, just kind of looking at the schedule for both teams, you know, I feel like it could be a fight to the finish.
Now, speaking of coaches, right? Chicago Bears coach is like under fire right now, right? And we're thinking about Jim Harbaugh. Now, me personally, right? Y'all gotta understand that I've been a Bears fan since the 80s. Jim Harbaugh is my man, you know what I'm saying, dog? As far as to play on the field.
Mm-hmm.
But right now you have a coach. Let's step back from that for a minute, the Chicago fandom, right? You have a coach that's in the middle of a cheating scandal.
Mm-hmm.
And even though he played for Chicago, right? He won every way he's been. Do we know he won because of, did he cheat to do that though? You know what I'm saying? When you start talking about Jim Harbaugh, let's talk about Jim Harbaugh for a minute, right? When the accusations of, you know about the whole thing with Jim Harbaugh, right? Where somebody on the sidelines, where they trying to like he didn't know about this person that's on the sidelines, that's got all the signals and signs from the other team and all that stuff, where you know the running game, you know it's a running play or a passing play, right?
Mm-hmm.
And right now he going through a whole situation where we're trying to figure out, did the head coach know about this? But it's countless amount of motherfucking film out there of the dude standing beside the defensive coordinator and the offensive coordinator, letting them know that it's a run. Now, to me, everybody say you still got to stop the play. Okay, cool. But 90% of it is knowing what is the play. Mm-hmm. If you know it's already a run, that's part of the motherfucking battle, for real. Now, the accusations is he know the plays before anybody run the plays because he had somebody on the sidelines doing that. I truly believe that's what's happening, bro, because it's too much camera views of the guy standing beside the defense coordinator and offensive coordinator saying, hey, you know what? They running. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what are we doing here, bro?
My issue with the argument is, though, and I don't want to say the lack of success, because Michigan has been successful. True. But if you gonna purposefully cheat, you might as well win some darn titles while you at it. Do it the Bill Belichick way and win some darn titles while you at it.
I mean, they in the national title hunt now.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I think, and it's crazy because I think Harbaugh has been successful. Jim Harbaugh has been successful when it comes to Michigan. You know, we saw what he did before. We saw what he did in San Francisco, and we saw what he's done in Michigan. I think he's been.
And that's what. What's his name? They got blackballed. Kaepernick.
Yeah.
And he did that with Kaepernick. That's.
Like, I mean, I think we've seen. For me, I'm not saying I think it's true or not true. I don't know enough about the situation to say too much, but I will say, like, on the outside looking in, we've seen so much success from Harbaugh that it's kind of like, is this an outlier type situation, right? Like, is this one of those situations where it's like, you know, it matters, but how true is it to a certain degree just because of the, you know he's already had success. You know, he's already had success and he's proven to be a winner. It ain't like he popped up out of nowhere and was just winning games.
I know what you're saying. What you're saying is where he at the point where none of this even really matter because somebody in the NFL still gonna hire him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he will still. Now, everybody don't know Michigan has already offered him a contract already, $11 million a year. So it puts him in a bind where he got to make a decision. You know what I'm saying? And then right now, no NFL teams has really reached out to him. You know what I'm saying? So he kind of in a situation here.
Yeah, yeah. I think, yeah, I think it's one of those, and it's one of those situations too where it's like you won't really know to the end of the season when people get fired, right? There's only been one coach that's been fired so far this season, Carolina Panthers, with Frank Reich.
Let's talk about that for a minute, bro.
Yeah. So,
All right, first of all, Frank Reich.
mhm.
He was in Indianapolis. They was a competitive team. They this is the team that had Andrew Luck retire on them, right?
Mhm.
So after that, they just floundering looking for quarterbacks, right? And Frank Wright was mixed up in this. He had to be in the middle of this, where he built a good team. Now they was competitive on defense. It was a good offensive line. It was a good. Matter of fact, it was a competing team, right?
Yeah,
But their
yeah,
quarterback was the issue in
Mhm.
Indianapolis. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So I'm trying to figure out. First of all, you had Luck, and then after that, you just flip quarterbacks, and flip quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So at one point, it's clear that you didn't win because of quarterback play, because you couldn't find one. You know what I'm saying, dog?
Uh-huh.
It ain't easy to have a quarterback after, like you draft a quarterback, Andrew Luck, and he just retired. Then you sat there and watched Indianapolis Colts pick up multiple quarterbacks that was at the end of their careers,
Yeah.
thinking they would take them to the promised land because the team was built. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yeah, I think honestly, I kind of give Frank Reich a similar. I don't want to say pass because that sounds like I don't think that they're good to begin with, but like a little bit of leeway when it comes down to these situations because kind of like you just said, Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck retired, and I don't even think Frank Reich was the coach when he retired. I'm pretty sure he came in after he retired. The GM didn't go and grab a QB. They grabbed a lot of veteran. They grabbed Phillip Rivers. They grabbed Matt Ryan. They kind of just filled a gap until they had a high enough pick, I guess, to get another quarterback, which they would eventually do with Anthony Richardson. And then with the situation in Carolina, number one, the owner David Tepper didn't give Frank Reich enough time to even see what he had. Right? You got a rookie quarterback, a horrible offensive line, lacking talent at the wide receiver position right now. And I mean, a good defense is about all you can say about them, right? And I think with that situation, he was also put in a bad situation. You were given 1 year to turn around a team that just had the number one overall pick, albeit, I said this plenty of times, but they traded into the number one pick. But when you trade into the number one pick, you essentially become the team who had the number one pick, meaning you essentially personnel wise become the team who has the number one pick because you traded top receivers, you traded top picks, you traded top talent to get this one pick. You traded too much to get it anyway. But the Bears are happy about it because they sitting on the number one pick again, and they are not the worst team in the league right now. So, like I think Frank Reich, and I was about to make the comparison with Frank Reich and Cam Newton. I feel like Cam Newton is a guy who has been disrespected in a way with the situation he's been put in lately, right? Coming in middle of the season and you expect him to do well, and he doesn't, because or he doesn't do as well as you think he's going to do because he's coming in the middle of the season. There's no true off season. The last time Cam played with a team with a true off season was when, what Carolina was that? Carolina, what maybe 2016 or so, something like that. Like,
true. I want you to think about this for a minute. Frank Reich taking the job. He's scouting quarterbacks. They in the draft. They looking at all the quarterbacks.
mm-hmm.
The quarterback he want, the owner don't want. That's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you go into your first season with the quarterback that the owner wanted, right? I think it's well documented that Frank Reich was not leaning towards Bryce Young. Am I clear to say that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes or no? Because you in Charlotte.
Okay. Yeah. So what I've heard is this, this is he said, she said, rumor mill type stuff, and that's it's still it's valid because it could be It could be the reason Frank Reich got fired to begin with, right? Frank Reich didn't want the quarterback that you drafted to be the future of your
Okay.
franchise, and you'd rather put somebody who gonna let Bryce be exactly what you need as opposed to somebody who might not be able to work with him because that wasn't the guy he wanted or whatever. So yeah, I can completely understand what you're saying on that.
I think that press conference where he explained that some owners are different from other owners was his death joint. Once he said that I'm not really comfortable with owners, you know what I'm saying, but all owners are different. It was clear that he was making it clear that this owner here is in my business, bro. I can't do shit. That owner is all in my shit. And all owners don't do this, but this one do. You know what I'm saying, dog? And
Yeah,
I don't
because
know
he
how
had
I
to
can
like meet
function.
with him. He had to like meet with him weekly or something.
It's
Something
like
like
I
that.
don't know how I can really function with this fool telling me what he want. You know what I'm saying, dog? I go in the draft. I want CJ Stroud. I already tell this clown, I'm about to bring you to Charlotte, bro. You know what I'm saying, dog? I go in the office. You tell me you want Bryce Young. Like, what the fuck are we doing? You know what I'm saying, dog? And then you gonna want me to win with Bryce Young, and when I don't, you fire me. What the fuck is that, bro?
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I took the man you wanted. And then you fire me in the middle of the season, me trying to work with a motherfucker I didn't even want. Ain't that some shit?
And I think like it's interesting because
God
when you
damn.
when you look at it, right? When you look at it, I can understand Tepper's perspective of saying it makes Tepper look bad, right? Because you fired the coach that you hired uh midway, not midway through the season, but 3/4 the way through the season, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like, why don't you just let them finish it out and see how they do? But like, it makes me wonder about their. It's hard because Tepper has done this before, right? But it makes you wonder about, was there a disconnect between Frank Reich's work with Bryce Young versus what David Tepper wanted Frank Reich to do?
It's obvious.
To me, it feels like David Tepper is a very hands-on uh, owner, right? He's very hands-on. He wants you to meet with him every week. He wants to check in. Literally, like, probably doing too much to a certain degree, checking in with Frank Reich every week. But
Too much.
he wants to be hands-on. He wants to, hands in the cookie jar, for lack of a better term. So, with that being said, I mean, this is why, going back to the to what we was talking about before, getting back to the Bears, this is why the Bears now sit with the #1 overall pick unless the Panthers string together some wins, which, albeit, I think there's a 2-win team out there, the Patriots. The Patriots, they got 2 wins, so they could honestly,
I don't see the Patriots winning no more. Now, I do see Carolina winning at least 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that take them out of the first pick or not. But I see them winning at least 2 games. Do you?
I think, and I said it before, I think the Panthers can beat
Because the defense is
the
okay.
NFC. Yeah, I think they can beat the NFC South teams, but the Panthers play like a young team, right? So they can't finish games. Even if they're ahead early or whatever it may be, they can't finish games, and that's the issue. Right now the Patriots are ahead of the Steelers 14-3, so maybe the maybe the Patriots gonna win another game tonight, but it's one of
I would
those
hurt.
things. Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like the Panthers don't have a tough schedule, but can you trust the Panthers to string together a couple wins when they ain't been able to do it all season? I don't know if you can. So, I mean, that might end up with the Bears with the #1 overall pick, not even having to be bad enough to have the #1 overall pick.
And that brings me to another thing. The GM of the Chicago Bears, right? We finally have a black GM. I'm not biased or nothing. It's just something I wanted to see. You know what I'm saying? And he done set the Bears up to the point where I never seen us set up this clear to win. You know what I'm saying, dog? He just set us up real good. And then the fact that he fleeced Charlotte. I mean, he took their first pick and their #1 receiver. You draft a rookie receiver, he has no one to throw it to, which make it hard for you to win, which makes it a first pick overall for the GM. You cannot, like, it's when you play chess as GM and you say, okay, I'm gonna take your first round pick and I'm gonna take your receiver too. How can you work with that? It's gonna be a first pick overall.
I mean, honestly,
I like my GM, baby.
Honestly, it was genius. I'm gonna see if I can find it. Genius. I'm gonna see if I can find it because
Ryan Poles, baby. If anybody don't know, the GM of the Chicago Bears, baby. Ryan Poles.
You know, it's funny because they put up when the Bears played the Panthers a couple weeks ago. They put up what the Panthers got versus what the Bears got, and if I can find it, I'll pull it up. But it was one of those things where you was like, that don't look good at all now. Especially if you put it didn't look good before, but especially if you put it on paper, it look even worse.
Okay, so Charlotte got Bryce Young. The Chicago Bears got the number 1 pick overall, or whatever pick the Charlotte put us at, right?
Yep.
Whatever it is, that first round pick. We got a starting right tackle that's going to be a Pro Bowler. We got a cornerback that's going to be a Pro Bowler. We fleeced that ass. We got a motherfucking wide receiver off their roster that's going to be a Pro Bowler this year. Ryan Poles, baby. So the best GM in the business, baby.
Can I ask you a question though? Speaking of that, because I've heard a lot of people, and I saw one of the people I follow. He had put out a mock draft today or yesterday, and he, a lot of people been wondering what did the Bears do with the number 1 overall pick. What do you say? I've heard a lot of people say if Caleb Williams is there, you go do it. You drop the Justin Fields experiment and you go with Caleb Williams. Well, I mean, what do you think? If let's just say the Panthers don't win any more games or they end up with the number 1 overall pick, whatever that means, what would you say? What would you say they do?
This is a hot button issue for Chicago fans worldwide, right? First of all, we has watched a quarterback that's drafted 11 overall. He beat Clemson in championship before he was drafted, right? So we already know he's good, right? His rookie year, he don't get into the 4th game after not even practicing with anybody but the practice squad. He gets sacked 9 times his first start ever in this league. 9 times, bro. The coach gets fired his first year. Second year, new GM and new coach. The GM blow the whole fucking roster up with no stars. And he still run for 1,200 yards and he'll quarterback. This year come in, right? You have offensive coordinator and a coach that wants this man to be Aaron Rodgers, bro. I'm convinced that the offensive coordinator that we got from Green Bay is convinced that he want to turn Justin Fields into fucking Aaron Rodgers, bro. I'm convinced. And that's when you got my man coming out and say, hey, I don't know if it's a coaching or what. It's just too much shit in my mind. Remember that shit in the early season? Like, bro, I don't know what's happening here. I don't know what's happening, but it's too much going on. That's what it was. This fool, hey, put your foot here. Take your foot here. No, step here, that read there. Nah, that's what Rodgers would do. I'm Justin Fields. I might run here and run for 80. That he can't do. You know what I'm saying, dog? So you got to plan for me. Fuck Rodgers. You know what I'm saying, dog? So that's where we at now in the 3rd year. And we got the whole crowd figuring out, do we should take another quarterback or not? Now, this year right here, you've been balling out. Period. You can't deny it, right? So now we're in a point where, do you take a rookie quarterback and he fuck around turn into Zach Wilson? Then everybody fired? What do you think?
So I think number one,
Zach Wilson trash too, bro.
That's true. If I'm the GM of the Bears, right? I hope
The Bears.
I hope that the Panthers don't have them number one overall pick
That's
because
true.
I don't want that pressure of having to decide between Justin Fields and Caleb Williams, right? Because for me
Yeah.
personally, I say you stick with Justin Fields, get in Marvin Harrison Jr., and we do like this and go on about our business, right?
You
That's how
know,
that's how I feel. You put Marvin Harrison Jr. with
DJ Moore.
DJ Moore.
Oh my God.
I mean that that's dangerous if you keep Cole Kmet too. Like
Oh my God.
I mean I'm just saying, and then shout out to Hayes the Truth Matt. My boy put the mock draft out. He said, that he's projecting to get a tackle from Penn State. I can't say the name, so I ain't gonna say it. But still, I mean, then you sure up the offensive line a little bit more too. Like, I mean, that's just that's a dangerous game right there. So like, if
True.
I'm the GM, I say, you know what, Carolina, go ahead and win 1 or 2 games for me. Well, 1 or 2, win 2 or 3. I should say, win 2 or 3 games for me. Make this decision a little bit easier because you give somebody else a chance to get the guy they need to get, as
True.
opposed to us, as opposed to the Bears. I personally think the Justin Fields experiment should not be over. That's just me. I like Justin Fields. I think he needs to be coached in a way where he can be him, as opposed to being some kind of, like you said, being somebody else.
True.
Being some, let him be him, let him be special as he is, and let it go from there. And I think the more talent you put around him, the better he'll be. But
That's
we'll
it.
see. We'll see, because I
True.
mean, Arizona act like they tempting to go away from Kyler Murray, so they may need it too, and they sitting at the number 3 pick right now. So
But
it
think
just
about this for a
depends.
minute. If you're a GM, right, you have a person right now within the next 5 years can be in the top 10 of quarterbacks in the NFL, right, with his abilities. You get rid of him and bring in a rookie that you have no clue what's going to happen here. You know what I'm saying? It's a
Yeah.
volatile situation where that's a gamble. People might not understand this. That right there for the GM or the Chicago Bears will be a straight gamble if he take a quarterback, trade Justin Fields. Justin Fields ball the fuck out, be an all-star for the next 10 years, and you sitting here chills trying to find a quarterback. After Boo Boo the Fool, it turned into Zach Wilson.
And I think I'm just trying to think of the teams that need QBs off the top of my head. I
He was
think if you
born and
put him
raised
in,
in Atlanta. So
yeah,
that's
if you
fine.
put him in the right situation, Atlanta got talent, the Saints got talent, Washington got talent. Like that's just a couple I'm thinking of off the top of my head. I don't know about Arizona, because then
Exactly.
I trade for Kyler Murray if I'm gonna do that, as opposed to trading for Justin
Kyler
Fields.
Murray is
I mean,
nice. We gotta play
not
Kyler.
Justin Fields
We
for the
gotta
number
play
1
him
pick.
two weeks
Yeah,
from now
so
too.
I mean,
He nice.
it just it really just depends. Like that's gonna be the thing. Like there's a lot of good quarterbacks right now, but there's also some
The thing
QB needy
is,
teams.
when do the organizations put their foot down and say, okay, this our quarterback, that's into that. Let's move on to other shit. That's the question it is. Most organizations do it early. For example, Giants, let's sign this quarterback. We done with this. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Even though that was a bad idea. The sign. What's his motherfucking name?
Daniel
Giants
Jones.
quarterback. Oh my God.
Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
Nobody in their right mind would have signed this fool.
I don't want to talk about
But
it.
they did.
I don't want to talk about it.
But they did.
That's my
You
guy.
know
I
what
don't
I'm
want
saying?
to talk
So
about it. I don't want to talk about it.
who else?
It just ain't when it's playing. I mean,
It's playing quarterbacks to get paid, even though they not like that. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I just don't want the GM to jump out there, pick up a quarterback, get rid of Justin Fields, and that Bama is nowhere near as good as Justin Fields. That would be a problem for me, bro.
I mean, my other question is, and I know you coming from a perspective of this guy is not necessarily, Justin Fields is more of a sure thing than whatever Caleb Williams might be in the NFL, right?
Hell yeah.
But we talking about the number 1 overall pick, the best QB prospect there is,
True.
out of the class, right? Like,
True.
that I think that's when it becomes a question, not because necessarily of what Justin Fields has or hasn't done, but more
I get
so
it.
just because it's the number 1 overall pick.
Exactly.
And can you trade with somebody else and do what you did this year.
And think about it.
Trade
We
yourself back
dodged
to
the
the
bullet last
third
year,
pick or something.
where everybody expected us to pick Bryce Young, and they traded out of that. So
No,
which is cool.
I think I feel like Bryce Young in the Bears situation would have been way better than he would have been for Carolina.
Charlotte is crazy,
yeah. So
Carolina, I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah.
I don't think he can win there. Like your best receivers, what's his name?
Adam
Number
Thielen.
19. Like that ain't gonna work. But hey, who am I to whine when Justin Fields had to throw the Equiniguous St. Brown? What the fuck this fool name? It's like, what the fuck is that? Like, really?
I think too, like it just makes me wonder, going back to the Carolina situation, what did they do? Because they don't have first round picks. They just don't.
Because
they don't
we
have,
got them.
They don't have. I mean, I don't think they got. Did they trade their second round pick? I can't remember. They traded a bunch.
First of all, they have to work with what they got now because nothing in the draft upgrades them. Because they have no first, they got a late second, so none of that matters to them. You know what I'm saying? Like they got to work with what they got. And once you fire the coach, you saying, to me, I know this what this means. It means that I'm the owner. I want you to get Bryce Young. If you can't make it work with Bryce Young, see you later.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it went. It was that simple, bro.
Yeah,
real simple. And I think that owner does too much, bro. But that's just me.
Yeah, I agree. Let's jump into the rest of these schedules for the Ravens and the Bears. I'll just start with the Ravens since we've been on the Bears for a minute. Let's see. Let's pull it up. So we looking at, of course, we had that week 13 bye week, much needed. You got the LA Rams coming up this week, which is an interesting team because
let's slow down on that right there because the Rams starting to play good, and anytime you got a quarterback, once you got a quarterback that can really quarterback, you ain't on most of these games. You know what I'm saying? Then you got Donald on the defensive side, so you in these games really. Now, to me, I think Donald's overrated, bro. He one of the most overrated defensive tackles I've ever seen in my life.
I don't know about overrated.
Like, bro,
what?
If you watch their games, he not really even in it.
Well, I mean, that's because he probably getting double and triple teamed every play.
Bro. Do you think
you're not going? No.
Reggie White wasn't getting double teamed? Do you think Reggie White wasn't getting double teamed, bro?
Rabbit.
Do you think Reggie White wasn't getting double teamed? Yes or no?
You was not going to tell me that Aaron Donald does not have an impact on the game, whether he's on the stat sheet or not. That dude is everywhere. I
watched the LA game
everywhere.
I didn't see him do anything.
Dude's everywhere.
I'm looking like, really? He don't stop the run. You can't tell me he has run stop, right? And if he ain't doing no sacks, what is he doing?
He do it all. He do it all. Everything.
Really? He a run stopper too.
Everything. You is not running. I can guarantee you.
Maybe because of the age, but I don't see it.
I can guarantee you nobody is running on Aaron Donald's side. I can guarantee you that because he's not gonna let you. Right? He not gonna. That dude just simply wreaks havoc. Like he just does.
I think he just completely rated. Like, bro, I don't see the activity.
You are wrong, but that's okay.
Like when you watch him, I don't see when we like when I watched Lawrence Taylor, I knew he was frightening. This shit is scary. He gonna fuck somebody up. Period. When you start talking about Donald, I don't see this shit until maybe the third quarter. You might see a flash. Like, what is this? No, the whole game.
I disagree.
Really though? For real?
I disagree.
Reggie White. The whole game, Reggie White is havoc. Complete havoc. All over the line. I don't see Donald doing this. That's just me.
I mean, they also have better offensive schemes nowadays. So, I mean, it ain't just you gonna turn the ball and hand it off to Reggie White's side and he gonna stop it. Like, nah. Aaron Donald.
I think Reggie White would seriously blow this motherfucker whole NFL up if he was right now alive today in his prime. Reggie White will fuck this joint up.
I mean, no, I'm not going to disagree with that.
Good God Almighty, bro. These offensive linemen are trash in the NFL, bro.
Aaron Donald being overrated is
you don't think so?
It's reach. Let's reach right there.
Yeah.
Let's reach right there. Doc. But I with the Rams, I think they're
You got them
talented.
right.
They just ain't been, they 500, 6-6, and they just been underachieving. It feels like. I think Puka Nakua is hurt. Cooper Kupp has still been dealing with his injuries here and there. So I mean, it kind of.
Y'all can get that the Jaguars joint because man hurt. Quarterback hurt.
Well, but he only got a sprained ankle though, so he might be back.
Man, that shit. He ain't no way in hell he come back this game.
I mean, but it looked
That's
like
next week.
when you look at it though, like it's gonna be hard. Like with a sprained
It's a
ankle,
high
just
sprain.
because it's tough.
That's 4
Yeah,
weeks.
yeah, that's But he got. I mean, if they want to do something, he gonna have to come back. So it's a decision that's gonna have to be made because like Houston is right there up on them, and Indy ain't going away either. So
That's
because of that, you could lose a couple games just because he hurt. You know what I mean? Like honestly, the Rams and the Jags, I think, are almost like business trips, right? And there's 3 of these games, 3 of these 5 is like business trips. You just gotta you're better than that team. You need to go beat them, right? The Rams, Jags, and Steelers.
Y'all can
all 3 of
around
those
and lose the rest of y'all games. Now think about
That's
this.
not gonna happen.
Except for the Jaguars, that might be shaky. But the LA, San Francisco,
the Rams are 6
the
and 6,
Dolphins
right?
at the week 17. Am I tripping?
That is the Dolphins. Yeah,
that's the Dolphins. So you got San Francisco, the Dolphins, and the Steelers. Hey,
but like I told you,
good luck, baby.
no. This is a hard stretch of the season, regardless of injuries and anything. But I will say, the Ravens the Ravens should be, and I should say, should be able to easily beat the Rams post bye week. Right,
we was on a bye too. The Chicago Bears and Baltimore was on a bye the same time.
Same week.
Shit. That's funny.
The Jaguars should be a win, and the Steelers should be a win. Now,
I need the Jaguars.
San Francisco and Miami, that's gonna be the tough ones.
San Francisco and Miami.
I think you forgetting. This is not LA who won the Super Bowl. This is LA 2 years later.
True. But they sneaky. They sneaky with the quarterback they got, bro. I'm trying to tell you. That could, if you get over that hump with the LA, that can help because then you'll hit Jaguars. You might get swing those 2. But bruh, if y'all lose to the fucking LA, what's the names? Y'all fucked.
We need to go 4-1 in this stretch.
I mean, what's y'all record? What's y'all
number 1 seed? I feel like we need to keep pace with the number 1 seed. Like we right there. There's gonna be a stretch though. Like
so y'all can lose
9-3.
Still be in the playoffs. So y'all good.
9, yeah, we not 9-3.
Yeah, y'all can still lose 3 and still be good, yeah. Because that San Francisco, Miami, and Steelers gonna still be scrappy at the end of the season.
I feel now.
Is that Steelers? Oh my god!
I feel like with San Francisco and Miami, the Ravens defense is one of the defenses that can probably slow them down a little bit, right? Like stifle them a little bit, get them uncomfortable.
Y'all can't let Jaguars. Y'all can't lose the Jaguars, bro.
Yeah,
period.
That's true.
Period. And if you fuck around, let LA beat you. This is going to be a problem at the end of this season. To be honest with you.
Yeah, there can't be no weeks off for Baltimore in this last little stretch. How
was life with Roquan Smith?
It's good.
Really?
I mean, well,
let me ask you something. When we started the season off, when y'all got him right, I always told you that the only problem I had with him that he don't make impacts. Like he make a lot of tackles, but interceptions, forced fumbles, tackles behind the in line of scrimmage, it don't exist. Now, as long as you've been with
tackles behind the line of scrimmage do exist for Roquan Smith. Now, like interceptions and stuff, and maybe like fumbles and stuff. Fumbles. Yeah, I wouldn't say he does it, but everybody else on this team is doing it. That's the thing. Like Geno Stone is leading the league in picks right now. The Ravens are leading the league in sacks right now. So, like, I think the impact is there. Because before Roquan Smith got here, there was no – I'm going to be honest, there was no – like, pass rush wasn't there, and he's not a pass rush guy by any means. But it's just one of those things where I think he's made everything better.
But I'll give you this. He's a solid middle linebacker, bro. Period. He's not a playmaker. That's what I was trying to tell you back then. Y'all played him.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
He's not a playmaker, bro. Don't do that.
He's a playmaker. He makes everybody better around him. Everybody.
Think about this. We let him
one
go.
unit that's not affected by Roquan Smith being out there. Not one.
Back to my man Pose. He let this fool go. Picked up 2 linebackers for what he wanted. Edmonds and Edwards. One of them lead the league in tackles. One of them got 3-4 interceptions. Your man in Baltimore, no interceptions, no forced fumbles. My man lead the league in tackles. Okay. Man, come on, bro. Okay, you can't tell me Pose did not exchange him for 2 linebackers that's doing way better than
I will say this. The Ravens are maybe, probably, more than likely, most definitely top 5 in every defensive category. The Bears are not. I will say that.
Bears in top 5 of everything too.
What the top 5? Stats. What the top 5 in?
We stopped the run. That's top. We might be even number 1 in stopping the run. For matter of fact.
Okay, I give you that. What about turnovers?
Okay, we don't want. What about turnovers? Is we don't.
No, I don't know right now. I really don't.
Turnovers. Where are we at in turnovers? We had 7 turnovers the last 2 games. So add that up. Let me see. 7 turnovers the last 2 games, my boy.
Okay, what y'all do the rest of the season? That's what I'm curious about.
See what I mean? See how they do? 7 turnovers the last 2 games.
I see y'all.
Think about that for a minute. Go on. We number 1 now. We number 1 in a lot of categories in defense. So let's not do that.
Let's see what.
Overall, we might be number 10, 9 in defense overall. So let's not do that. The Bears. And it brings me to my coach. Everybody want my coach fired to bring Harbaugh in and all this shit, right? But again, just like I told you about Justin Fields, this coach was brought in, hired, and then his whole roster was stripped. He played with Boo Boo the Fools and Last Man Standings. The only person he had on his team was Justin Fields running for 1,200 yards. So this year right here, he done made his defense number 1 in 11 games now? Come on, bro. Stop talking about firing my coach. Let's come on, man. We got the coach, we got the quarterback. Keep building this thing. You know what I'm saying?
I guess this is my question. I guess this is my question though. People looking at the Lions, right? They're looking at the Lions who had kind of a glow up overnight.
That was overnight for real?
Okay. Really? So last year they was competitive, but they lost a lot of games. The year before they was terrible.
They never.
So yes, overnight. I would call it overnight. I'll call it overnight.
Wait a minute. How many first round picks did they already have in a row? Years and years.
You talking about the Lions?
Yeah.
I mean,
they all on the team. You know that, right?
Probably a bunch. Yeah, I'd say
exactly. That. So it's not like they just all of a sudden just out the blue. They got the best players on their team. What do you mean? They should have been winning.
I mean, so should the Bears, right? I mean, y'all had a top.
We got one number 1 round pick, and that was Justin Fields.
Y'all had a top pick to get
Boo Boo the Fools.
Y'all had a top pick to get Justin Fields, right?
That was it.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, we ain't got 11, 12. Green Bay got 12 number 1 just on defense.
If I'm mistaken, now I know I like to use stuff to my advantage when I can, and on the other side when I can. Y'all had now I might be wrong now, but y'all had the number 1 overall pick last season.
That was last season, yeah. We traded, right? Yeah,
y'all did, but y'all still were the worst team in the league, right?
Technically, we wasn't.
By the record, right? By the record.
Okay, cool.
Okay, by the record, y'all was, right? So all I'm saying is
you heard everything I said though, right?
I think management is looking at the Packers, who look a little bit better than the Bears right now. Beat y'all in week 1.
Wait.
The Lions, who look a lot better than the Bears right now, and the Vikings, who have for years and years and years looked better than the Bears. They looking around the division saying, wait a minute, when the Bears gonna compete here? How long is it gonna take?
Now, as I explained, we just hired a coach last season, right? The GM blew the whole team up, right?
That's true.
So are you expecting him to win with that? Nah. So we go to the draft. We get the kind of players that the coach want. This the only season that he had the players that he wants. This the only season now. Last season was not it. We're going to this season. We 4-8 as we speak, right?
Mm-hmm.
We done won 4 games out of the last 8 with the team that he just building. That now is the team that he wants. Not last year. That was Boo Boo the Food Squad.
Okay.
Right? So this is let's start from this year. This is the only year he have because these are the players that he actually put in. Right? The whole defense, every player he put in this year, from draft to motherfucking free agent. The coach put these players in. Where the defense at? Exactly. Every player on the offense has been put. This is the problem right now. This draft right here is going to be all offense because all you got on offense, number 1 pick you have, first round pick is Justin Fields. Everybody else are second rounders or third rounders or fourth rounders. Period. Now this year we picked the motherfucking first round tackle because we got the pick from Carolina. You know what I'm saying? So we got 2 first rounders on our whole team. That's Justin Fields and our right tackle. Then we just traded for Swift, who's a first rounder. Then we got 3. You know what I'm saying? Now we building our team.
Okay.
The Lions have 30 first rounders. Green Bay have 20 first rounders. They should have been winning long time ago. Minnesota, they winning. They not winning the way they should because their quarterback some slop, bruh. It's just real simple. Lions quarterback, basic. They're not gonna go no far with that. We're gonna beat them Sunday to let you know. You know what I'm saying, dog? We only got the quarterback in this whole conference that's dynamic and will win games because of his legs and what's that called when you just do things on instincts. They don't have those quarterbacks. You feel me? Mm-hmm. So that's going to impel us after this season because if you got to remember one thing, if we win these next 5 games, we're in the playoffs. People don't even know that, right?
Okay.
So we're not really out of it.
Well, yeah, let's that's
Packers,
a good little.
The Packers won 6
right
games. We won 4 games, right? So we
all
all in the same boat.
Let's see who you got. Let's see who y'all got.
All in the same boat.
Let's just take a look. Let's see. While we on it,
the Bears. Come on, bro.
While we on it.
First of all,
let's take a look.
Sunday we play Detroit, who we smashed the fuck out of last week, and they fuck around won in the end of this thing. But that's cool. We blew their ass out. We had the ball 40 minutes to their 20. We had 40 yards offense to their fucking 100, but we lost. Cool. Bring your ass to Chicago, and we're going to thump a hole in the Lions' ass, okay? We're not worried about Minnesota. We're not worried about none of these people left. Where we go? Cleveland. We go to Phoenix and Atlanta.
Okay.
Are we scared of those boys or not?
Well, Cleveland is a top defense, though. You got to be scared of that.
That's true.
You got to be scared of that now.
That's one
now,
thing. But Garrett is not. Look, he's not healthy though, right?
Yeah.
And that's a revenge game because the first start Justin Fields ever had was in Cleveland, 9 sacks. It was a get back game for Justin Fields, baby. So they're in trouble. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't worried about Falcons at all. You know what I'm saying? Or Phoenix. Oh, really? Are we worried about those teams? Our defense is number 1.
Okay. So I say this with Arizona, right?
Mm-hmm.
With Arizona, here's my thing. Here's my thing about Arizona.
The quarterback is a scary piece of a problem. He a problem.
Yeah, you got Kyler Murray trying to get his way back. He's almost auditioning for other teams if the Cardinals decide not to keep him, right? So he got a lot to play for still, right? He still got a lot to play for. So I mean, that could be a tough game just because of that.
Flacco.
Hey.
Give me Flacco.
Don't do that.
Get your ass.
Don't do that. You know that's my boy. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Let me ask you something. Okay,
241.
I know
21. Just saying.
I get it. But your if I was to give you some true serum right now in 2023-24, do you actually think that Flacco is good?
Are we talking about the game he played this
true serum right now?
No.
Not the Baltimore lover.
Are we talking about the game he just played? Based on is that what am I basing it off of the past couple years, or am I basing it off of the previous game just now?
I think that's the only game he played this year, right?
Yeah, that's the only
How'd
one.
that look?
If he look as good as he looked in that game, it can only get better from there. Cause that's 241, a touchdown to pick.
We play him next week.
Okay, look, after not playing for a whole year.
Now I'll give you credit. He better than PJ Walker. Whoever the fuck they had in there first, bro. I get that. He read and we get those things all faster. But his arm strength is not the same.
Look,
and he's not coming out of that pocket. We're gonna
look
tear
the Browns,
his ass up.
The Browns are a sneaky team, specifically because of their defense. Like Joe is, and that's the thing. Like Joe Flacco is the perfect quarterback for the Browns. Why? Because they want to run the ball and they want to play good defense. And that's all Joe Flacco knows. Ravens fans know it, right? That's all we know.
How old's Flacco now?
38, I think.
Okay.
38, I think he is. Yeah. So I mean, the Browns, that's a tough defense. So
I do agree that next week he makes it more of a problem than Watkins, because I think we had a better grasp on Watkins, right? We just gonna flush him out the pocket and tear his ass up. But this fool right here, he know how to manipulate the pocket a lot as a quarterback. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. And then, like I said, the Lions, that's a tough one. That's in division. It's always going to be tough. So I say that's a tough one. And then the Falcons. The Falcons, you should beat the Falcons. The Falcons are the Falcons. You should. Now,
that last game with Green Bay is going to be our game. What if that's the game to say either one of us go to playoffs? Oh, my God. I would love that, bro. Yeah. Green Bay game, and it says the winner goes to the playoffs. Boy, that's football, baby. That's what I want to see. Especially when we rebuild and all of a sudden we a playoff hunt. Like, goddamn, already? I like it. Pose, you the man, bro. I fucked you.
Look, I think, that Green Bay game should be pretty good unless they put that salt they put on y'all the last time they played y'all. Because I don't know. I did not expect that at all. I don't know what happened.
Out, yeah.
I did not expect that at all, but they came out hot. Like they had me believing, and then they kind of slowed down, they cooled off a little bit, and now they kind of hit another hot stretch. So they kind of up and down. It seems like to me.
And I'm something about put it like this: if the Lions defense don't ball out, they're an average team, bro. Because golf is just I get it. When these quarterbacks ranking up these yards, it's like fool's gold, bro. Like that's not what you can't translate it into you winning, because it still makes you struggle because that quarterback doesn't give a plus. He just straight passing. You know what I'm saying? It's like him and what's his name, Foles, and all these quarterbacks. It's just like they're not a plus. If you the person catching it, you have to make the play. If not, this shit is done. You know what I'm saying? It's like the quarterback he's not gonna throw it long, deep, none of that shit. He's not gonna run out of the pocket, none of that shit. He's not gonna save your lineman from sacks, none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like
I think the issue that poses a problem for the Bears with the Lions is that they got so much offensive talent, right? Sam Laporta is really good tight end. They've done a good job with him. Of course, they got Jameson Williams still trying to find his way. The other St. Brown, the St. Brown that you want, he been playing.
Not good. We got the wrong St. Brown for sure.
He been playing well, and of course they got the two-headed monster with David Montgomery and Jamar Gibbs. So that's the thing. Like they're so talented all over the place. I mean, I think they'll be good for years to come, more than likely. But
that's true.
I think they would honestly benefit from potentially like a Kyler Murray coming over that way.
Again, Snays, you know what I mean? They have everybody agree, Goff is a good ass quarterback, right? But you would literally take him out for certain players. You know what I'm saying? Now you start to think how the Rams was thinking at the time, where he's good, yeah, but damn, man, it's somebody else can get us to, you know what I'm saying? It's the same thought process you just had. Like Kyler Murray can go in there and do even more better. You know what I'm saying? In your mind frame, because he's just a basic quarterback, bro. And I don't think the future is basic like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Wrapping up, how you feeling? How you feeling this week? How you feeling about the this Bears Lions matchup? How you feeling about the rest of the season?
Me personally, I feel good that we done improved on a lot of grounds on offense and defense. My thing is, I'm good that Justin back off injury. He been back 2 games, so that's even better. So I think out of our last 5 games, just ball out, bro. Let it all hang out. Defense number one. The offense just gotta let it all hang out. Just throw that bitch. Justin like to throw long bomb. Let him throw 8 of them bitches a game. Fuck, who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? These next 5 games, let it hang out, baby. If you win all 5 of them, you're in the playoffs. Simple as that. You know what I'm saying, dog? So if not, who cares a fuck? You know what I'm saying, dog? But you still got 2 picks in the first round next year.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Look, even if it don't go the way you want it to, you still got something to look forward to.
Exactly. You just ball out
right?
and get as many wins as you can.
You got that. For me, when it comes down to the rest of the season, I think, kind of like I just said, I think you got 3 business trips, right? I think you got LA, you got Jacksonville, especially with injuries right now. That's the main reason why I say it in the way that I say it. And then Pittsburgh, right? You have to win those games, those 3, because the tougher of the 5 is the Miami Dolphins, who for some reason the Ravens have a problem beating, and San Francisco. Now, San Francisco, I might be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure the year they went to the Super Bowl, the Ravens blew them out on Monday Night Football. So, or Sunday Night Football, one of the night footballs. So it's like San Francisco, I'm not as worried about, even though I know they're talented too. I know they're good. I know they can easily be, and I'm not gonna say easily because that's not even true. But I know they can beat the Ravens because I know they're a good team. But I think
let's give our MVP predictions right now, as today. We're gonna give who we think will be MVP at the end of the season. Ain't but 5 more games.
Okay.
So what do you think?
So I'm gonna go with who should be MVP. And I'm gonna go with Tyreek Hill. Because I think he's on pace for 2,000 yards as a receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And even in a passing league, that never happens, right? That never happens. So because of that, I think he deserves. I think he deserves it. I think they made up offensive player of the year so they could give other positions a chance to be an MVP. But I think Tyreek Hill has shown not only is he dangerous and you have to guard him, but it doesn't really matter that he's dangerous and you have to guard him. He's going to beat you anyway. That's how I feel about that. I feel like I'm missing somebody, but I do. I mean, I just feel like you know. I feel like Tyreek should be MVP in the same way that I felt like Derrick Henry should have been a couple years ago.
I think at this point, the only person you really can put in it is Tyreek. If he can continue on what he's doing, you got to make him MVP. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's funny over the last few years that it always have to be a quarterback, and it's not true, bro. Like, I remember, you remember the Redskins? I know they don't call them that no more, but they had a kicker that went to the MVP. He was the MVP of the league.
Yeah, wow.
I forgot his nigga name. I'm here in DC, and Moses Mosley or some shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
That nigga was MVP. It's like, you ain't gotta be quarterback, bro. Once they make it have to be quarterback, it's stupid.
Real quick, or it's Christian McCaffrey. McCaffrey's another good one. But let me read off the one so at least you can understand what at least people are thinking about for MVP. So Brock Purdy, I think, is for some reason at the top. I don't agree, but okay. Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Tua Tagovailoa,
Patrick Mahomes,
Tyreek Hill, Christian McCaffrey, CJ Stroud, and Josh Allen. CJ Stroud will not win the MVP because he's going to be Rookie of the Year. That's realistically why they won't let that happen.
Like I say, it's automatically Tyreek Hill if he continue on what he's doing.
I think it's Tyreek or Christian McCaffrey because at least McCaffrey's had or I think the streak was broken recently, but he had 20-some games with a touchdown or something. Like he had a long streak of games with a touchdown.
True, but
and he's He's dangerous everywhere.
He actually
right?
MVP though. Like, come on, he good, but come on, MVP. Think about that for a minute.
I
Do he
mean,
lead the league in rushing?
here's the thing. The tough
Do he lead
part
the
of
league in rushing?
he's not going to be able to lead the league
He a
in rushing
running back now.
because he catches, but he also catches the
Okay.
ball. You got to factor
He
in total yards
good.
when you talk about this.
Exactly.
That's what I think. That's
Sure.
what I think.
I don't know. It's plenty of backs that always caught and catched and ran. They weren't MVPs. Like, I think he overrated. He's another overrated player.
He ain't overrated now.
He's good.
You can't.
Don't get me
He's
wrong.
unstoppable.
You
How
get me
he-
wrong.
How he overrated if he's unstoppable?
Well, once you
Explain that to me.
start blowing people up as they unstoppable and all this, he's not
is unstoppable.
He good.
How many people stopped him? Name me one. Name me two.
He don't even be getting 100-yard rushing games, bro. He don't even be doing that.
For the record,
Hmm?
right now, Christian McCaffrey is the NFL's leading rusher and leading receiver at running back.
For real?
He's not the leading receiver as far as like wide receivers, but
I know what you're saying.
in terms of running backs, he's the leading rusher and the leading receiver.
Okay, then yeah. Then that's different. But again, when you watch the game, he not. I don't know. Maybe I'm
He's everywhere. He like, and it's hard because my thing is with both Tyreek Hill and Christian McCaffrey, they're on really talented teams, right? They're excelling on extremely talented teams, right? So not to say that eyes are off of them by any means, because you gonna focus in on them, yes. But my thing is they're I mean, that's the only like caveat you can put out there. That's the only asterisk you can put beside it. It's like they're on really talented teams because Tyreek Hill has Jalen Waddle and Tua can move, and they got so much talent on that team.
Wait a minute.
And Christian McCaffrey with Deebo Samuel and all them, like what do you say?
I have to go Tyreek Hill though.
I agree.
I'm with you on that one. And then my man DJ Moore second.
Well, it's funny because Tyreek Hill is on pace for. I mean, Tyreek Hill is at 1,400 yards right now, almost 1,500. Like, and there's still 5 games to go. I don't know what his game average is. I wish I could see it to see what he's on pace for, but
so he got 1,500 right now.
Yeah, he's at 1,481. So I mean, might as well say 1,500.
Yeah.
I mean, if a wide receiver goes for a 2,000-yard season, I don't think you can dispute that he deserves.
Yeah, there's nothing else going on in the league.
And honestly, that's what I was saying. Like, there's no quarterbacks out there that's like, impressing me enough to be like that quarterback has to win. Same thing with I mean, I felt the same way last year. Like Mahomes got it because he's Mahomes, but like,
yeah.
It's just.
But yeah.
But anyway, you want to let people know where they can watch you, listen to you, and
most definitely you can find me on Twitter, Twitch, everywhere. Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts at for sure. You can find Third Perspective Podcast, T3P, Instagram, Twitter, wherever you want your social media joints at, we there. You know what I'm saying, dog? Hard your boys, the hardcore hip hop culture.
Okay. Same for me. Fly Nation Speaks. You can find us on all major podcasting platforms. The same places you can find the Third Perspective Podcast. You can definitely find Fly Nation Speaks as well. But we'll see you guys on the next episode. And we gonna let y'all go. All right. Make sure y'all hit that like button if y'all haven't already. If y'all are on YouTube, and hit the subscribe button as well. If you on the audio platforms, be sure to heart the show. Whatever y'all do, favorite over there. Whatever y'all do, be sure to do all that stuff, all that and more. We'll see you guys on the next episode. Until next time.
The Bears.
All right. Welcome in.